March 19th, 2013, and this is the StephenBlakesley.com podcast. On today's podcast, we will talk to our friend and correspondent Outback Andy Foster, who will be the full-time announcer at All American Speedway this season. This week's racing news is overshadowed by the tragedy on Saturday evening at Marysville Raceway Park. Drivers were hot lapping for that night's Civil War Sprints opener when trouble struck the number 24 driven by Chase Johnson. The 17-year-old Petaluma Speedway champion was unable to make turn 1 and went crashing down the pit exit ramp. Johnson ended up hitting two individuals in the pits. 68-year-old Dale Wondergem, the car owner for Herman Klein's Civil War ride, died on the scene, while Chase's 14-year-old cousin Marcus Johnson died after being transported to the hospital. The races were postponed and both fans and teams were offered refunds. Many of them refused refunds, instead donating their money towards the Johnson and Wondergem families. Wondergem's services have been set for this Saturday in Grass Valley, while the Johnsons have set up a memorial fund at Santa Rosa Community Bank. We wish to send our thoughts, prayers, and condolences to everyone involved in Saturday's tragedy. We are also glad to hear that Marysville Raceway Park plans to continue their racing program for this season, beginning with Saturday's Taxi Cab Open for limited late models and other stock car divisions. This weekend's racing also included the two-day spectacular at Tulare Thunderbolt, with USAC West Coast and World of Outlaws in action both Friday and Saturday nights. Ryan Bernal avenged his spin from the lead at Las Vegas by winning both USAC features over the weekend. Bernal's victories came against a field of heavy hitters that included Marcus Niebla, Danny Faria, the Vanderweerts, and 2012 West Coast champion Bud Kaeding, among others.
Yeah, we just put a new shock package on. We can't thank FK enough, Willie from Factory Cane Shocks enough. They worked with me this weekend, and we ended up pulling off 2 wins. I can't thank Jimmy and Mikey enough at JFM Motorsports, A&A Precision, King Racing Products, and Butler Built, Henchman uniforms. And I just can't thank these guys enough. They gave me a great car all weekend long, and that's what we get for hard work right there.
Good start to the season for the points. I guess you're in points to this series.
I don't know if we're going to run points or not, but we definitely do have a good start to the season, and maybe we should keep it going.
The TK Express rolled on Friday night as Tim Kaeding won his second World of Outlaws main event of 2013 by claiming the Tulare main event win on a treacherous track that caught many drivers by surprise. Cody Dara put together a strong run on Friday night to come home in second, with the wild child, Jack Hodenshield, steering the Finley Farms number 77 to third. Saturday's main event for the World of Outlaws was claimed by an Outlaw regular, with the crowd pleaser Craig Delansky taking the win, although he was dogged by 2012 King of the West champion John Allard. Darren Pittman crossed the stripe in third to continue his strong start with his new Casey Kane Racing entry. Outback Andy Foster caught up with TK after the races on Saturday to talk about his great weekend.
Friday night's winner in the World of Outlaws at Tulare Thunderbolt, and your second win in the Outlaws year, and 6 races. 1 race now outside the top 5, 6th place at Tulare tonight. Of course, you had those 2 wins in Australia, backed up with 2 Outlaw wins, a 5th in at Tucson. This is your worst run in 6 races, a 6th place, TK, so a very respectable event tonight. Hard charger night, came from a long way back on a very rubber down track.
Yeah, it was pretty much follow the leader. I think we could have broke top 5 there. Just get racing with these guys, and some of them raced dirty. Paul McMahon tried driving us in the fence coming down for the checkered. We were around him, and it is what it is. It's racing. I'm happy to win forward. A lot of guys didn't. A lot of guys went backwards, so it's definitely a great way to end Tulare. Top 6. I'll take it all night long. So we're just gonna roll out of here, head to the next couple races, and just go for top 5s again like usual.
Certainly, Trax, you're going to head up to Merced next week, and then, of course, the Silver Cup at Chico. You've done a million laps around Chico, so you'll be good on all those.
Yeah, I hope so. It's part of racing. Everybody gets the same racetrack. Everybody's got to deal with the drama of it. So, just going to the next tracks. Merced, we've ran pretty good there, and Chico, we definitely get around there pretty good. So hopefully we can keep keep this 83 Roth Enterprise Motorsports car going.
In other racing this weekend, the 2012 Spears SRL Southwest Tour champion Derek Thorne won his 7th race in his last 11 starts with the series by winning Saturday's Mellows Gas and Gear 151 at Madera Speedway. Jim Pettit came home second, with Jason Gilbert rounding out the top 3. Saturday night's racing at Bristol Motor Speedway was all about the 2012 Can-Am Pro Series champions, with 2012 East champion Kyle Larson of Elk Grove narrowly missing the nationwide win to Kyle Busch, while 2012 West champion Dylan Kwasniewski of Las Vegas won the Can-Am East main event that was the nightcap of a long day in the Thunder Valley. This weekend will be a very significant one for Northern California racing, with the Stockton 99 Speedway dirt track opening on Friday night with the World of Outlaws. A star-studded field that will include Kyle Larson and Sprint Cup star Tony Stewart will compete on a 3/8 mile oval inside the Fairgrounds horse track. Reserve seating has sold out, and general admission tickets are also expected to sell out by race day. This historic day of motorsports will not be one to miss. The Outlaws will then move on to Chico the following night for the Mini Gold Cup in another highly anticipated event. When we come back to the StephenBlakesley.com podcast, we'll talk to Outback Andy Foster about his new role as announcer at All American Speedway. But first, a look at our sponsors. StephenBlakesley.com is brought to you by MotoWear International. Throughout the world of racing, there is a common thread: MotoWear, online at MotoWear.com. And also brought to you by Matt Jackson of Proline Pit Carts, the promoter of the Southwest Super Lates racing at Willow Springs in 2013. For more information, visit swsracing.com. And we're also brought to you by QMparts.com, your one-stop shop for all your quarter midget part needs. Get your parts today at QMparts.com. And we're back on the StephenBlakesley.com podcast, and we're talking to my good friend Outback Andy Foster, who will be the announcer at All American Speedway in Roseville, California for the 2013 season. And hey, Outback, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks, Stephen. It's good to be on your show.
So, a lot of people might not know your background because you announced at Altamont on the pavement between 2006 and 2008. And then since then, you've been primarily a dirt track announcer. Can you tell us a little bit of your announcing background as far as how you ended up in America, in the States, and just kind of your background in racing?
Yeah, basically what happened is I met my wife while she was on vacation in Australia, and I originally came out, and she hooked me up a deal to announced at King Speedway in Hanford. So I did a couple of shows there while I was out on vacation, and then obviously got married, came back, and started working out here in 2004 and did the 2004-2005 season at Altamont. I have a dirt background, obviously. I raced dirt cars and announced in Australia. So that's pretty much how I ended up, and then obviously I've worked at some other dirt tracks as well.
And then you look going into the 2013 season, you'll be at Roseville's All American Speedway. How did that whole thing come together for you?
Yeah, I'm really, really excited. We tried to put this deal together last year, and unfortunately, due to some things that were going on, it didn't happen. But basically what happened is I've announced there the last 2 years, actually. I filled in and done at least one show a year for them. And obviously, we had that tragic incident with Ron Pastana being killed last year, and I did the memorial show. And after that, the board talked to me, and the deal came together to go ahead and do the 2013 season. I'm really excited because we're also going to be live streaming all the audio from all the races. So it should be a great year up there.
And if you look back through your racing history, you started out as a driver in Australia, and then you came to America, and like you said, in the States, you've been to pavement tracks, dirt tracks, you've kind of seen a little bit of it all. And All American Speedway underwent that big transformation in, I think it was 2005, and they made that track a 1/3 mile, and it's kind of a whole new venue, and with the really nice pit area and everything else. For you, in all your travels, how nice is this facility? Where does it rank for you?
Yeah, it's right up there. Of the local short tracks for pavement tracks in California that I worked at, this is the best facility. So they've got some great things going on there. The facility is great. for the fans. It's all great. And they're making a bunch of changes this year. There's going to be a lot of changes going on, and you're going to see a new All American Speedway this year. Just everything is changing up there this year.
And when you were announcing at Altamont Raceway Park, and we got to announce together in 2007 and 2008, the big thing, of course, was all about the late models. And All American Speedway is also all about the late models. I have to think you're kind of looking forward to seeing some good late model racing this year.
Yes, certainly am. And they also have a great modified program at All American Speedway as well. And as you know, I'm a big modified fan. But yeah, the late models, love late model racing. But all through, you know, the bombers, the street stocks and late models and modifieds. And then, of course, you're going to have the touring series coming through. And then we'll throw in some NCMA sprint cars. So it's a really good program up there.
So for you and all your travels over the last couple of years in California, where do you think racing stands right now as far as the strength of racing? Do you think you guys are in for a good season out there, or is it still kind of a struggle with where the economy is at?
You know, I think the economy is still causing struggles, and I think we've seen that possibly on some of the car counts, and that have gone on the last year. Guys are still a little bit, you know, when we were at Altamont, that time we broke the record with nearly 40 late models on the racetrack, but we were getting regularly at Altamont 25, 30 late models a week. And a lot of those late models are just sitting around in people's workshops, and they're not coming out. So hopefully the economy will get a little better, and we'll see more cars coming out. But it's still a challenge for most tracks, I think, trying to get the car counts up.
We're on the phone with Outback Andy Foster, who will take over the microphone at All American Speedway this season in 2013 in Roseville, California. And Outback, there's a couple different ways that a guy can go about announcing a short track. At least for me, I'm kind of more of a booth guy. And then, of course, the former announcer at All American Speedway, Spencer, was more of a kind of a traveling guy. He'd walk around in the stands. And for you, how would you describe your style for some of the fans this year?
Well, as you know, I really do like, we've been down to Ocean and I've been working the infield with you. I really do like working the infield, but obviously at Altamont I worked the booth with you. This year it will be mostly from the booth. I will be down trackside doing some presentations and probably introducing the drivers to the fans for the main events from down on track. But all the racing will be done in the booth. That's because we will be live streaming, and we need the audio quality to be really good. We don't need too much background noise coming through. So the fans that do tune in on the internet each race day will be able to hear the audio and not have that background noise from the racing.
And when we're talking about the economy, of course, probably the most important thing right now to keep this thing going, to keep racing going, has to be the sponsors. I have to think that's something you plan to emphasize a lot this year. Yeah,
the sponsors, first and foremost, are the most important thing out there. Without the sponsors, we don't have a racetrack. And with the racers, too, they need their sponsors to be mentioned each week, and we need to make sure we do that, because obviously without racers having sponsors, it makes it very hard to get to the racetrack. But yeah, some exciting things going on. We're going to make sure we look after all of the sponsors, and All American Speedway has some great programs. So if anybody's looking at getting involved, certainly contact Ken at the track. They have some great programs this year, Stephen, to step up. They're doing some really innovative things, and we're hoping that'll really bring the fans back and try and pack the place out each week.
So I think probably the most exciting thing about All American Speedway is that it is a NASCAR sanctioned track. It's the only one in the Sacramento area. Of course, you have Stockton 99 Speedway, Kern County Raceway, and Irwindale. So there will be a couple NASCAR tracks on board this year. I know you're kind of a big NASCAR fan, so that's pretty cool getting to be a part of a track that has the NASCAR name on it.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's good to be good to have that NASCAR branding. That's always a good thing. And, I think that also brings the fans in, too, when you can advertise the track and put that NASCAR logo there, that you're a NASCAR-affiliated track. That certainly helps out. And like I say, the racing's going to be really good this year. They're going to a new tire up there, too. So that's going to really make things really good. We'll be on a new tire for all the races this year too, and hopefully that'll equalize things up a little.
Now, I'm just wondering your opinion on this because it's something that's been going on at the NASCAR tracks. Is the age is getting a lot lower, and I believe you can run a late model at Roseville this season at 14 years old. From your experience in racing, do you think these 14-year-old kids can handle that?
I think some can, and it is a concern that I've always worried about. Putting those the races, guys and girls in those cars. Remember, at Ultimate we had that program for the kids, and we started them out on the quarter mile. But I think I think it's okay. I think this is the way we're going with this style of racing now. We're trying to bring these kids through younger. You'll see the kids coming into sport, and of course Kyle Larson being a Sacramento native now, running in the Nationwide Series. You're going to find a lot of these kids that want to get involved with this sport.
And the last thing I want to touch on this season in 2013, the sprint car world is really taken off, and I know you're going to be a part of the stuff at Roseville, but I know you're a real big sprint car fan. You have to think this season, when you look at some of the names that are coming back, with Jason Myers coming back on the West Coast and with a really expanded World of Outlaws program on the West Coast, this is looking like it's going to be a really good sprint car season too.
It certainly is, and as you know, Stephen, there's a lot of great kids coming through. We saw Dominic Selfie last year really become a very, very good driver, and there's a lot of other kids from down that Fresno area, and right now that seems to be the breeding zone down there in that Fresno type area. There's a lot of very, very good young kids coming out of that area, and also out of the Bay Area as well.
Well, Outback, we want to thank you for coming on to our show for a quick interview, and we're going to wish you guys good luck in 2013 at All American Speedway.
Yeah, it'd be great to see everybody come out to the racetrack, and let's hope we can put on some great shows so the fans really enjoy it and keep coming back.
We want to thank you for tuning in to this edition of the StephenBlakesley.com podcast. And a thanks again to our guest, Outback Andy Foster. Good luck to him in his 2013 season at All American Speedway. A reminder that StephenBlakesley.com will be doing live coverage on Twitter from both Friday and Saturday night with the World of Outlaws. First Friday at the Stockton Dirt Track, and then Saturday at the Mini Gold Cup. Just follow us on Twitter at the Twitter handle at Stephen Blakesley. And for the best in short track news, you can find us on our Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and on the website at StephenBlakesley.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you at the races.